what's up, everybody? This is Juan Pablo. Welcome to Blastalk, the new podcast where we talk about extreme drumming, blast beats, and metal. So I got with me Joseph Howard, one of the sickest drummers here in Denver, Colorado.
No,
And
gracias.
welcome, brother. Welcome. How you doing, brother?
Gracias, Holmes. I'm flattered.
So tell everybody about you, about your bands, what you're doing right now, what bands you've played in, for the people that don't know about you.
Well, since I was 13-ish, I had a band called Scalafreya. That was me and my brothers, Jake and Jaime, 3-piece, and we did like probably 600 shows or more within like the first couple years of coming out. Did like 3 albums. That was in 2002 when we started. It was pretty much my only gig. Recently, I've been doing some other stuff as well, though. I've been trying to collaborate with some dudes from New Mexico called Fields of Elysium.
I've actually heard about them. Pretty badass.
Sick bros, yeah. And they're like they just have beautiful music.
All right, on. So okay, let's backtrack. How old were you when you started playing?
10 years old, yeah.
How old were you when you started playing your first show?
Like 13.
13.
We were in bars,
Definitely younger than me.
It was kind of like all Jaime's doing, really. He would be on the phone constantly, and we were just kind of like jamming. He would call the bars, book the show. He would have our parents come with us. He'd be like, "Yeah, they booked us, but we have to bring you guys. Would you come to our show?" And my mom and dad were like, "Fuck yeah, we're
So
there."
you had a really supportive family.
Yeah, like my dad was a rocker.
And your brothers, So,
my dad was in an 80s hair, like zebra stripes spandex band called Cherry Bomb.
Cherry Bomb. That's fucking
Yeah,
awesome. That's
they
a
were
very
sick.
fitting name for those kind of bands from back in the 80s.
They were all about like boobs and like puns.
So that was like a
sex
Steel
puns.
Panther from the 80s?
It was like 90s when I
90s Steel Panther.
I mean,
so the Steel Panther stole
I
the
was
idea
born
from
in
them?
88, so
So I'm wondering if Steel Panther stole the idea from them.
I don't know about that, but I like their songs though. I wish they were like released. They were
Fuck
super
yeah.
catchy.
Fuck yeah, Joey. So you get to play high school shows and all that?
Yeah, we played
Like Battle of the Bands and all that?
we did a couple of those. We always won.
Oh, that's
We were brutal. We were like brutal death metal kids.
That's fucking killer, man.
In a high school of like rapper kids in Commerce City, Colorado. So, like we were the most advanced. And like we were also the rhythm section for our jazz band.
So
Like at school, like we were in jazz band 3rd period.
So you started playing jazz drums, right? So pretty much.
Started playing funk with my brother.
Oh, right on.
Like
Okay.
Chili Peppers and shit like that. We were like into Rage Against the Machine.
When did you start getting into what's fucking important, which is blast beats?
Well, all right. Well, we got into like Pantera and stuff, and then we actually met these older dudes. They were in this band called Dark Reflections. This dude Jeremy Freese, aka Weedski, was like the dime bag that we knew.
Oh, fuck
And they had some sick jam sessions in their garage, and they were so like energetic, and their music was actually really beautiful. And he would always smoke weed with us, and we liked weed, like young ass kids smoking
yeah.
weed.
You say we liked, but you still love weed, don't you?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah,
Of course.
See,
I mean, this is the power of blasting, right? This is some
bowl.
This
so
is some of the
course.
fuel that fuel for blast beats.
Yes, no, it's motivation.
Motivation. It's definitely
for
my
sure,
fuel for
Holmes.
fucking blast beats, for sure. In fact, I think it's about time to light up a joint.
I actually have a story about this while you light up a joint. I was on probation because I got busted with some weed, and I couldn't smoke weed for 18 months. And
So this is obviously before weed was legal. We live in Denver, Colorado.
it was
so
right
weed is
when
completely legal.
weed fucking turned legal, but it wasn't in Commerce City, which was where I was at the time. It was stupid, but anyway, so I got like a felony charge for like having a bunch of weed on me, and then I was on probation anyway. So I couldn't smoke weed for the 18 months, and when I got off of probation, I got high, like kind of like at work at a screen printing shop, and I was like, whoa, I don't actually think I'm gonna get stoned again. And so I didn't smoke weed for another few days, and then I smoked weed before a practice, and I played drums directly after, and it was like magical. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's why I smoke weed.
So did you magically start blasting after you smoke weed that time?
No, yeah, like it was so creative. It was like an improv sesh. You know how you get stoned and your improvs are just like so much more creative, and like you think of all the cool fills in the right order and everything's beautiful.
Man, yeah, no, I'll tell you what. The other day, I actually I did like a microdose of mushrooms, and I got behind the kid. I was here by myself, and started jamming, and it was really fucking cool, man. It was really unique. I kind of like got connected with the music, with my instrument, with the drum kit, and I was just flowing, man. I've never really been a fan of like getting too fucked up before any shows or before practicing, but definitely under mushrooms it was really entertaining, man. I was having a blast by myself just jamming, dude. I jammed for like 45 minutes nonstop. It was killer, man. So I might do it again, but I don't know if I'm gonna like take the risk to do it while I'm playing an actual show.
It's funny. I was at Las Vegas Death Fest. We played it one year, and I was hanging backstage with the dude from Dehumanize, the drummer. And he
was that the same year that was I there? Was that like maybe I think with
so.
Extremely Rotten? Maybe
I don't
not.
think you were there. That I don't know. You
I
saw
remember-
Scalafreya there?
I can't remember. I just remember knowing that the Humanize played one of the years that I was
They
there.
played like 4 of the years.
Oh shit, yeah.
But anyway, I was there I was like hanging backstage, like happened to be hanging with the drummer, and he was like had Doritos and mushrooms in a Ziploc bag, and he was like, "Yeah, this is like my sandwich." He was like eating mushroom Dorito sandwiches. And
The
he was
drummer of the Humanize.
yeah, he was like, "I like to wait till like as soon as my blast starts getting blurry and it's like my hand is like in 2 places at once, then I'm ready to go."
Man, he's
And
a
he fucking
fucking power
obliterated
machine. He's a
that.
power machine. He's a
He-
beast.
He does
Dude,
that on
guy,
mushrooms.
That guy is fucking
He
insane.
eats fucking mushroom Doritos.
It's a bummer that the
sandwiches
Humanized
backstage.
is no longer a band. I was a real big fan of them. I've been a fan of them. Actually, I met their the first singer. His name was Jerry. He's a Colombian dude. Real badass motherfucker, man.
First band I ever heard to have that real high pitched snare. That
Yeah, hell yeah. Man, I think one of the first bands that had one of those those real pinch snares. Back in the early 2000s was Last Days of Humanity, man. That shit was some fucking insane blast beats. I had a friend that was kind of like really obsessed with gore, and he would only listen to like the sickest bands. We used to call him Pecueca, which means in Spanish means kind of like stinky feet. Because that motherfucker would clear the room every time he would take his shoes off, man. Fucking nasty. He was all about that fucking gore and that nastiness and the brutal shit, man. One of the realest fucking brutal death metal motherfuckers I've ever met, man. So, yeah. Right on, Joey. So, the sickest drummers in Texas is Sterling Junkin, right? He was backstage hanging out with Dave Billa. I was playing too, and they were being super fucking cool, man. Real helpful before Extremely Rotten got on stage, and I remember seeing a few of their songs. I mean, obviously, being a drummer, every time you go to a show, you kind of like wanna watch the drummers play, right? That's how you learn. Usually you learn a lot from watching from the sidelines. I would call it the sidelines. And
air drumming.
yeah, and I watched Sterling play like 3 or 4 songs, and I was just mind blown because he's super tight drummer. He's one of a single stroke beast. He actually reminds me a lot of like Pete Sandoval. So, badass show last year, man. Now since we're bringing up Las Vegas Death Fest here for like the second or third time, this year he had changed the name after there was some drama with the other dude, which I'm not even gonna name him because I mean, sometimes people split up, right? And somebody takes the bigger man, the route of being the bigger man, and the other person you usually wants to make it all dramatic. And the way the other guy handled the stuff, I mean, Michael's ex-partner, the way he handled that was real fucking shitty and real childish. So anyway, Mike, just like a lot of us expected, it started another fest, a slaughter fest, and this year was gonna be our first year, and unfortunately, like everybody knows, a lot of shit got canceled. I was like really looking forward to it because actually I was actually practicing and working to be filling in for Incinerate. Really stoked about that, but it didn't happen. So, you know, we all bummed out. But yeah, I'm gonna be definitely looking forward to that fest. I'm glad that Michael is not gonna stop. You know, but
Yeah, cheers.
yeah, there is something that's really fucking shitty about the COVID. The lack of shows, the lack of fest. I mean, not to be completely fucking selfish and say fuck everybody else. Who cares? Go out and have shows and have fest and possibly get sick and infect everybody else. But I mean, like to us metalheads, live music is just part of our DNA. We need to have it. There is a lot of people that are not that social. I'm one of them that I'm not extremely social. I'm not that guy that goes out to bars all the time and stuff. And the way I socialize is shows, metal shows, and not only just for socializing. Like I said, you go and you watch some of your idols, some of your drumming idols, and you learn a lot from them. So that's something that's to me one of the hardest things in this COVID time is the lack, and the lack and obviously the cancellation of all shows. Uh, really bummed out that Slaughterfest canceled. I was really looking forward to actually going and maybe playing it, like I said before. But you know, uh, I guess we gotta kind of like stay safe for now, right? How did COVID hit you, and how did you handle COVID?
It's,
What do you do while everybody was in quarantine? Were you able to play drums?
I mean, it's definitely surreal. That's what it is. It's super surreal. Like I never would have thought that I would not be going to 6 shows a month on average. Or like I would go to like a show every week, like or 2 maybe sometimes.
So now we're like what 7 months without shows.
Well, what was weird though is I kind of already was like taking a little break of shows. Like I didn't go shows for like 5 or 6 months before March. And then like March, yeah, I was ready to go back to shows.
And then they canceled. But
what it did was it just, I just been playing a lot more drums instead. The time I was at the venues, I'm just now at my drum kit.
so you actually had access to a drum kit and were able to practice while you were in quarantine.
Luckily, yeah, like the homie Dave let me set up in his living room.
Right on, right on. All right,
Harvest, yeah. Now he's my roommate.
awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So you've been recording a lot, actually, huh?
Yeah, I've been working. I actually am doing like 4 songs with him as well.
And what kind of music is it?
Arbus. It's like thrashy stuff.
All right, right
I
on.
try not to be like too brutal on like everything. I try to have like different styles depending on who I'm jamming with. You know
All
what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, so I asked you. Okay, so we know about Scalafrea. I asked you what bands you're working on currently, but tell us what bands you've been in, and have you done any tours? Have you gone to Europe? I mean, there's definitely some of the bigger bands that you've filled in, right?
I filled in. Probably the biggest thing I filled in for was Cephalic, Carnage.
Did you do a tour for them?
Nah, well, I did like a merch tour, which was like 11 days with BT Bam. And
Well, that doesn't count. You weren't
it doesn't
blasting.
count, but
So no. Like, how many shows did you get to play with them?
1 show.
You got to
And
play one
it
show
was
with
in
them.
Houston. It was building temples for death.
Oh fuck yeah,
Fest.
dude! That was one of my favorite fests as well in Texas.
It
man.
was fucking, yeah. And I actually played. That's funny. We were talking about Dehumanized. I played his drum kit that night. I'm pretty sure.
Dude, like one of the sickest fests I've ever played has been Building Temples from Dead Fest. I think it was 2012. It was fucking killer. We had Michael Pinkert from Diminished filled in. He's actually the one that recorded the album for Extremely Rotten, Grotesque Acts of Humanity. He killed it, man. That was one of the sickest shows. Like I remember we played downstairs. It was like a 2-story building. We played downstairs, and I remember like we started playing the first song, and in the middle of the first song, this whole place got packed, and everybody was just in the circle pit. And we closed the show with Dying Fetus. All right, right, so Kill Your Mother, Rape Your Dog by Dying Fetus. That was the last song we played, and that whole place just went berserk, man. Fucking one of my favorite memories from, Texas Fest. Texas is one of the best fucking scenes for brutal death metal, man. I really like it. It's, I would say that was ER's second home, man. We played so many shows in Texas. In Austin, in San Antonio, just killer fest, killer people, man. I fucking love the Texas people, Texas homies. I know you were talking about Pantera, and you were doing
Well, actually, yeah, this band, Dark Reflections, which like kind of influenced us all. He showed us Dying Fetus. It was like 5 bands, like Dying Fetus, Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, and like Suffocation. And those were like 4 really sick bands. And it kind of blew my mind because I was a drummer in jazz band at school, and we were like doing funk stuff like Chili Peppers and stuff like that. And I heard Grotesque Impalement at a pretty loud
one
volume.
of the sickest Dying Fetus releases, bro.
Which
Holy
I
shit, those drums are amazing. Kevin Talley, I know, I seen the video. That shit was fucking sick, homie. Fucking
John, shout
those
out,
drums
man.
are fucking sick. Kevin Talley, that's one of my favorite fucking goddamn Dying Fetus. That was an EP, but this seriously is one of the sickest EPs there is. Yeah, I seen that video of you jamming with John. That was really fucking killer, dude.
He just walked into our practice space with Len, and then Jaime was like kind of starstruck. He kind of just set his shit down, and then he loaded a bowl and like handed it to John. And I was like, John. He was like, "Could I see your guitar?" I was like, "Yeah."
Oh fuck yeah! Perfect opportunity to jam.
Playing. I was like, "Hey John, let's play some Fetus." I was like, "Let's play some Grotesque or something." And then I played like 9 songs with him.
Oh damn, dude! And you can pull pull those covers right out.
That was like one of my favorite bands. So like I knew all the songs. I know like a lot of.
Okay, so now that you mentioned that, so you started blasting, because you heard all those bands, right? Because that was some of the same bands that I heard, when I was younger. That just made me obsessed with blast beats,
Jake was funny as shit. He was always like reciting like Deicide lyrics to people as if.
Hey man, I got to say, in Colombia, DSI changed my fucking life, dude.
See?
DSI was fucking brutal, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was cool. We were just brutal kids, and we discovered the death metal scene really early, man. And we were playing shows, and I remember the first time we ever played with Cephalic. It was at Bender's Tavern, which ain't even a place anymore. Now it's called like Black Box or something weird like that, like some rave club.
Right.
But we played at Bender's Tavern. They were about to release Anomalies, so they couldn't play a show. Their label didn't want them to play a show as Cephalic Carnage, so they played as Carniceria.
Oh, perfect.
Which
Carniceria.
It was. Which what that means, meat market, right?
Yeah, like the butcher shop.
Yeah, see. So it was just a cool time, and they played like a bunch of covers, and then they played a few Cephalic new songs that were on the album.
I bet that was sick.
And they played The Darkness. That was like the highlight of the night.
Fuck yeah.
But then that was the first night I ever met Leonard.
How long ago was this?
Shoot, I think it was like 2005.
Right on. See, metal was just badass 15 years ago.
And just playing, I remember, we used to kind of have like free reign because we played some headlining shows at like the Ogden. So the dudes, it was Nobody in Particular Presents, were like kind of into us, so we could just like roam backstage or whatever to whatever shows. Like walked in the backstage on like dudes like Tech 9 and shit. And we just kind of were able to just go hang. But one time, this dude Willie, shout out Willie and Shaq, miss you guys and shit, brought me into Behemoth's locker room, or like and he was like, "You guys all better watch for this motherfucker. This is the sickest drummer I've ever seen." And meanwhile, Inferno's sitting on his practice pad like on his motherfucking practice pad. I'm just
man, but I love it, man. You gotta love that support, right? But you gotta love that support from your homies. That's fucking badass.
It was like funny, but like
fuck yeah, though.
Dude, do you even know who you're talking to right now? Like,
Inferno is one of the sickest fuckers right out there too, man.
I was like, fuck, but it was just like funny, like just little shit like that. But yeah.
So that was about when they came out with Demigod. If you talk about like 2005, right? So that was like one
Yeah,
of the
like
sickest
right.
fucking albums they have too. The
Yeah.
most extreme.
One of the nights, 'cause they came. That oh yeah, Behemoth. I actually stumbled upon them when I went to a Suffocation show. They played. It was like Behemoth, Suffocation, Cattle Decapitation, and it was right when Demigod. And I walked up to Nurgle. I actually didn't know who he was. And I was like, "Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?" He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm playing in a band tonight." I was like, "Oh, cool, right on. Nice to meet you." And I was like, and then I watched them play. They were all fucking makeup and did like the demigod shit, and it was so brutal. And they were super nice afterward. And then we got home, and then the next day we had Comcast, which was like on demand, had the little on demand metal with,
I
like,
remember that.
yeah, well, they were on there the very next day, and I was like, yes, we
That's
just
the
watched
dude.
that.
That's the dude I
It's
fucking
the
met last
Conquer
night.
All video or
Fuck
whatever.
yeah,
We were
dude.
just like, yes, we just
No,
watched that
hey, there's
shit.
one thing about Nurgle, man, that I don't know how he is right now nowadays, because obviously he's huge and he's just a millionaire, and everybody and their mother knows who Nurgle is, right? But one thing I've seen Behemoth from like the first show Behemoth played in the United States. I was there. That was in New Jersey. I think it was 2004, 2003. The New Jersey Metal Meltdown. I was actually on Amar's first show as well. And one thing about those guys is that they were always very, very humble. In 2015, when I played 70,000 Tons of Metal, they were playing that year. And I actually got to talk with Inferno for a while. He was fucking real badass dude, man. And when you play like a fest or like a cruise, and you're in that environment where you can like really avoid people, you just, with all your metal family, you can act more like yourself, and not just only Behemoth. A lot of those musicians from the bigger bands were really fucking cool, man. So yeah, but the one thing about Nurgle is that he was really humble, or maybe he still is humble. Like I said. So that's something that I've always respected about the dude.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. But yeah, that's a big influence. Another big influence.
Here, let me actually, now that you talk about influences, I want to ask you. Let's talk about that influences. Uh, who are your biggest three influences in your playing?
Man, it's hard to say. Like, definitely go back from like Dying Fetus days, learning all the
But
fetus.
like the not the bands. I'm talking about like drummers personally. Like what drummers influence you?
Vinnie
What
Paul,
drummers?
man.
Three drummers that have
Pantera.
been like are in your influence.
Vinnie Paul would have to be like the number one. Pantera. Uh, he just taught me a lot of shit. Like through his feel, like learning his song. Like if you try to learn any drummer that's starting out, try to learn some Vinnie Paul shit. You will get coordination like you would not believe. That shit sounds not hard. It doesn't sound too hard, but you try to play it and it's like weird. You're like, what the fuck? How does he? You like feel stupid all of a sudden.
Two influences. In top three. Vinnie Paul is number one.
Top three.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Talley,
Right on.
Brosa from early days. Man, so many different influences. Uh, Sean Cynic is a huge
Sean.
one.
There you go.
He like taught me to use like more hi hats and like rolls on the toms and stuff.
All right, Joey. So we're really fucking baked. We smoked a joint. Joey's been hitting the bowl. We're baked, and he's gonna hit it again because that's what fuels us. Anyway, so Joey, tell me who you think are some of the greatest drummers from all time. That you think. I mean, obviously, it's a very hard question because there is not just one specific best drummer in the world throughout the whole time, but there is several. Or there is many. But that you think are just great drummers. Just give me like three names of drummers that are some of your favorites.
Personally influential drummers list ready. Number one, Vinnie Paul. I would say number two, like Stuart Copeland, Police.
Fuck yeah.
Like he like
Sick.
showed
Love
me
it.
some like backwards drumming and like reggae style. Number three, would have to be like Sean from Cynic.
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, rest in peace.
One of the sickest drummers,
For
also.
all of them. Anyway, very influential. Uh, one of the, I don't know, just like textbook death metal albums would be Darren Cesca off of Arsus's "We Are the Meow Meow."
We heard the meow meow.
We
Actually, we heard the meow meow. But listen,
We are the
Darren
Meow Meow.
Cesca is actually gonna be in the new Dates of Flesh. No, I was gonna say
I
Dying Fetus, but the new
know,
Dates of
I
Flesh album, and it's
know.
fucking killer, man. And I'm also glad, that Mike's gonna be in it too. Like Mike's another like signature fucking Dates of Flesh drummer. And I remember Darren Cesca from seeing him in Maryland Death Fest 2004. He was playing with Goratory, and that was like some brutal fucking shit, man. I was really impressed. That vocalist for Goratory was sick as fuck too, man. I remember it. Anyway, Maryland Death Fest at the beginning, it was just old brutal death metal. It was so fucking sick, man. I have a lot of good memories from the early Maryland Death Fest days. You talked about Cephalic Carnage, and you did the Building Temple from Death Fest. But what other bands have you filled in for tour?
Okay. The first one was Abolishment of Flesh. Shout out Raymond from Amarillo, Texas. Now I think he lives like in Houston or something like that as well. But
Killer band, killer dude.
yeah, I did a couple months, or like I kind of stayed at his house for a little bit,
Right
and
on.
then learned the songs, and then we went on like almost a month tour. And then the second one was Rottenness.
Oh, you filled in for Rottenness. I didn't even know that you filled in for Rottenness, man.
See, we did me, Ben,
Shout out to the
and
Rottenness dudes.
Halil.
Halil's is badass, man. All those guys, they're fucking
Silas.
really killer dudes. Really fucking killer band.
Brosifs.
The Broseps for sure. So who else you filled in? Rottenness, Abolishment of Flesh. I know there was a band that some guy that plays in the Antichrist.
Shout out to Scott Navarra.
Oh, that's
I've
right,
done a
Scott.
few-
Yeah,
a
that's the
few.
name of the band. I can remember,
We
man, but I
are-
know you filled in for them.
They
and,
pretty much tour with the Antichrist.
Yeah,
as
that's
much
killer.
as possible.
Right on,
'Cause
right on.
Scott's in both bands.
Shout out to the Antichrist
yeah,
guys.
Scott, busy dude.
Those guys are
And
killer, man.
all those bros in the Antichrist.
Killer dudes. Killer dudes.
Cheers, amigos. But yeah, and then that's pretty much it as far as. And then I did the one show with Cephalic. And
Okay,
then-
now let me ask you this. So every band that you've played in, you've been a fan of?
I
Because, I
didn't
mean-
actually I met Rottenness like through. No, I guess I knew them and liked them beforehand.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
like playing with
See.
Cephalic Carnage, you being from Denver, and there being some of like the OGs of the brutal death metal scene.
Cephalic, I was
like that was like
definitely
super
fanboy.
fucking cool. I would think. That's like
I was a
something
fan
real
of
badass.
Cephalic before I ever met them. It's kind of weird and
Yeah, that's what I'm
super
saying. That's-
surreal to actually know them for like 10 to 12 years now and
Exactly.
like be friends. Like I was at Merriman's house last night because I bought his little electric drum kit from him.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! And you also did vocals for Extremely Rotten, right?
See,
For
yeah,
like 2 songs
Chicago
back in Chicago.
Domination Fest,
Fuck yeah, that was like fun, man. Actually, that was fun for everybody except me. I was
Yeah, your
really
back
fucked up. Like my back was fucked. I couldn't even move.
Mhm.
I remember like they literally had to carry me to stage, sit me in the drum set, and when I was done, they had to carry me out.
I remember
carry me off the
memorizing
stage.
the set in my
And it was so
headphones on the
fucking
way just in
brutal,
case you
man.
couldn't play. I was gonna. Fill
Yeah,
in
it
for
was
you.
it was brutal, man. That was
But
an
he sat the
intense.
fuck up and he was like, you know what? Fuck this shit.
I
I'm gonna
played
fucking
30
do
minutes
it."
with extreme fucking pain, and then after that, it was just all fucking hell, man.
But yeah, I remember.
I
you
could
doing
enjoy
good,
it.
Though. I remember it was still good. Like no
Yeah.
worries.
I have no real huge memories, only besides the extreme pain and
I did
how
that.
I did not enjoy that fest itself because I was just fucking miserable the whole time. But
Oh yeah.
it is what it is.
I did that again with Leonard. It was this band called Stonerist, and we went to New Mexico and we played a show. Shout out to Justin.
Let's wrap it up, man. So I really
Word, hell
appreciate
yeah.
you doing this, my friend.
Cheers.
Fuck
hell
yeah, cheers,
LC.
homie. So Blastalk, episode 1, test 1, it's on the books, and I want to thank everybody, that stuck around and watched the whole thing and listened to the whole entire thing. And fuck yeah, please follow the page, subscribe, and keep on fucking blasting.
Ending question for you: what's your favorite type of blast?
Oh, holy shit! I would say the hyper blast. Like I spoke about it earlier with Last Days of Humanity. I've always been a fan of like use extremely fast blasting. Actually, like Vital Remain style blast, like the triple it. It's one of the fucking sickest shit. Especially when that Decretion Ice came out, I was just really obsessed. Exactly. This is what drummers do. Peace out.